You know what I've discovered?
I don't.
I party like a 16-year-old girl.
You drink vodka mudslides.
No.
No,
guess again.
You drunk dialed your grandpa.
No.
You just went through a breakup with the prom king.
Yeah, but that's not what I was getting at.
Maybe you should just tell me what you meant.
I apparently, when I party, so I've had like a partying week. I'm like coming down off a bender, and I didn't have any alcohol, 0 milligrams of alcohol, ethanol or otherwise. Yeah, no isopropyl, nothing like that. Yeah, I've just been drinking like energy drinks at 1 a.m, and
wow,
and yeah, like drinking an energy drink at 1 a.m, staying up watching a movie, eating a bunch of popcorn, and then like waking up and using the third of the energy drink that I didn't drink from the night before and is now flat
my
to
goodness.
pull myself together and get out the door.
Wow.
That only happened once.
Okay.
I shouldn't say like that's,
But this sounds like a wild week
I'm not
for you.
retreating. It was fun. It was fun to regress into like a 16-year-old level of stupidity. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't bad at all. I'm paying for it. It's been 3 days since, and I'm in not great shape. But
Your body's like shutting down.
my body's like,
Help me.
Can't handle. Yeah,
Help.
It's like
Help.
Yeah. And the people I was hanging out with were younger and are, I'm sure, recovered 100%.
Sure. They're probably still going at it.
Yeah, for sure. But there's I had like 1 energy drink, and I think there's blood in my urine. Like I don't, it's just it progresses rapidly.
You should get that looked at.
I should probably check that out.
But by that I don't just mean like by a random, like by a medical professional.
Oh yeah.
Don't just
like I'm not gonna go back to the 7-Eleven and be like, hey, does this happen often?
Or just like hold up like a cup of urine with blood in it and be like, hey, you, take a look at this.
Yeah, hey, you name tag, Paul, is it? Yeah, Paul.
Is this normal?
You look like, you at least wanted to be a doctor. What's your take on this?
Is this good?
Welcome.
Yes.
Act naturally, something I try to do as seldom as possible. There's no fun. There's no fun in acting naturally.
No.
Right? I think it's fun to act unnatural.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I don't want to know.
But the next time I'm sitting in the waiting room at a merge with a cup of my own bloody urine, I'm going to practice it. I'll try to act unnaturally. See what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did a thing.
We watched a film.
We did. And then we're ready to talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah. And what's even more exciting is that we, in a weird, plutonium 1.21 gigawatt kind of timeline, we have in the future past recorded a episode already, which is not out yet, but will be out, where we interview the director.
Yeah, which is cool. This is very cool.
And someone who's tightly involved. Tightly is the wrong word. Heavily involved in the sequel.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So that'll be out in a couple of days, or is already out, depending on that's the thing about a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This could have been recorded 47 years in the past. But you should also check that out because we put a lot of blood into that.
Just like Brady's urine.
That's a thing. That's a thing now, apparently.
Yeah. So act naturally.
Look for our bloody urine T-shirts. That'll be part of the merch.
Ew.
It's just a beaker, says the movie men on it.
Ew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You will be the talk of the party. I can't say whether it'll be a good thing, but you'll probably make more friends than you'll lose.
And I can't say you'd be at that party. Like, they might kick you out.
Right. Yeah. Or
you'll still be the talk of the party. You'll be.
Or you weren't
gone.
even ever at the party. The point of the party was just to get together and talk about your shirt behind your back.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Don't let that opportunity pass you by.
No. So Act Naturally.
Act Naturally.
Yeah.
Act Naturally is the second Naturist film, or Nudist, in layman's terms, film that we have done.
Mm-hmm.
We have kind of a mutual friend, a friend of the show, Stefan Duchesne, who owns and operates his own naturist or nudist campground.
Yes.
So just people like setting up the RV and then walking around naked.
Huh.
Yeah. And so back, we did 2 episodes with him back in the spring of 2020, the early spring, like before the world fell apart.
Otherwise known as January.
Otherwise known as Jane. Well, but I think the episodes came out in February. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, the wintry spring.
Yeah.
And we picked up a lot of naturist listeners and fans and Twitter followers and stuff like that at the time. And we were sitting around one day lighting cigars with $100 bills, and I looked over at Pete and I said, I feel like a bunch of people signed on to be our friends, and then we haven't really done anything that specifically caters to them since. So here we are. We're both clothed. Actually, I can't see you right now. I don't know if you're wearing clothes. I'm wearing clothes. I have shorts and a t-shirt on.
I'm wearing shorts and a shirt that says "Sun's out, guns out."
That's hot. It's very cold in my apartment, so nudity is not
a good call.
Doesn't fly, no. But so we watched Act Naturally. We hummed and hawed over a couple of different films.
Yep.
And we went with Act Naturally. I think one of the reasons I think we went with Act Naturally for 2 reasons ultimately. Reason number 1 is it was one of the more recent naturist films. The first one we did came out in 53, 52.
Right. Yeah.
And so thought it would be interesting to kind of check out the other end of the spectrum. Plus sort of had a mutual contact with the director and thought, I wonder if we can make that happen. And lo and behold,
it did.
Holy freaking hand grenade. Yeah, it worked out. So Act Naturally. Should we just dive into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, 8.5 minutes in. Might as well just, might as well start.
Yep.
I guess. Okay. So hit me upside the head. What do you think? What do you think of Act Naturally?
Well, it's definitely, like you alluded to, it was interesting because Stefan recommended us The Garden of Eden, which was a film from the 50s about nudism, as the lay people call it. And we did have some laughs at the movie's expense just because some things were dated and some things were just, I guess, maybe reflective of the times and the social norms and maybe just also filmmaking of the time. So
it's not a good film. You're being polite about it.
I'm being polite. It was not.
Garden of Eden suffers a lot of. It has some genuinely good moments in it.
Yes,
there was some fun moments in Garden of Eden.
Yep.
But on the whole, it's a piece of shit of a film. Like it's not good. It's just not good.
So
there's so many issues with that movie.
So we were curious to try a film that was more modern. So it's more reflective of modern day values and modern day life. And I'm just guessing I know a higher production value and just creative abilities that are more reflective of the times versus the 1950s. So I was eager to see, obviously these films probably have similarities in their objectives or their underlying goal that they're trying to communicate through the film, but they're very different as far as how they go about it, and that's kind of obvious.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I want to start by saying this film is leaps and bounds better than Garden of Eden.
Oh, not even the same playing field.
Right? Like, there isn't a moment in Act Naturally where I think to myself, I don't buy that. Like, I don't, you know, there's no moment that feels forced.
Sure.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas Garden of Eden was just riddled with, like, there's no way that would happen. There's no way people behave this way. There's no way that, you know, there's no way you show up in the Garden of Eden. There's no way you show up on the side of the road and you're like, hey, young, attractive woman and 4-year-old, you know, 5-year-old child.
Yeah.
I see you're having car trouble. Would you like to come back to where I live and I'll call you a tow truck in the morning? And then he forgets to mention that he lives at a naked resort. Like, there's no, you know, there's just stuff like that. There's nothing like that, in my opinion.
No.
In Act Naturally. Act Naturally was very, it felt grounded. It felt well grounded in reality.
I think that's a really good point, because with Garden of Eden, like we joked about this when we reviewed it, there was some sequences where it was just so unrealistic. Like, it seemed like it was right out of a cheap or a lame horror film, and the actor or the character did all the things that no one would really do that got them into quite a perilous situation, like in a secluded farm where they're going to get murdered. Like, just all the decisions they made just weren't realistic. And with Act Naturally, everything, you're right, it's just grounded. It's just like family members that have to kind of join together to do a task because a family member is deceased, and like everything has a reason and everything is logically appropriate.
Yeah. Having said that, it is very, and I don't think this is a demerit.
Sure.
But it's Act Naturally is very obviously from the get-go an independent film.
Sure.
It's got the color tones and the pacing and this just sort of the setup and execution of almost like a TV movie.
Okay.
Right? Like, you know what, like the Hallmark Christmas movies, like come Christmas time, there's a movie there's a movie on there that is a good movie.
Sure.
It's got a great story.
Yep.
But it was very obviously low budget. Like, there's no impressive execution of visual effects.
Sure.
Right? It's very story centric.
Yep.
And yeah, kind of has that TV feel to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Which again is not necessarily a demerit. But it is, I think cinematic is the wrong word to describe Act Naturally. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And
right,
just related to that, so we're going to have a varied level of listeners here, some that are familiar with films covering naturism, some that aren't. So I feel like it has to be said, like, if you're just picking up a line of movies and you're saying, hey, it's movie night, I'm going to watch either National Treasure or Act Naturally, you have to realize, like, they're different films in what they're trying to cover, right?
Oh, totally.
So if you watch Act Naturally just expecting a film on the same level of, like, I want to watch a high intensity film with just ups and downs, like, you have to know what you're getting into, and you realize that the film Act Naturally has a goal or something that they're trying to communicate. Like, there's an underlying message. And
yeah, well, and I think, like, I kind of I think a couple of times you and I have talked about this, and I've said, you know what, it feels like you and I both grew up exposed to, like, Christian films.
Sure.
Right. And it kind of felt like that, right? It's a lower budget, independent, niche film, that feels like it's got a, like, obviously with a Christian film, the point is always there's always an agenda there.
Sure.
Right? They've always got a product that they're pushing.
Yep.
That product being their belief system.
Mm-hmm.
And I find naturist films are also sort of like I feel like naturist films, to an extent, certainly Garden of Eden, felt like it was doing its own share of evangelizing, like it was doing its own kind of recruiting maneuvers.
Mm-hmm.
That never comes across as blaringly obvious. Like if there was sort of a recruiting motive, if the motive behind Act Naturally was to recruit people to naturism, I never felt like that was being forced onto me. I never felt like that was, in the way that, and again, we keep going back to Garden of Eden, but it's our, in the genre, it's our only other direct comparison.
Yeah.
Act Naturally never made me feel like I was being pressured into going to a naturist camp.
No. How I describe it, as I'd say, it has an enlightening theme to it, right? And I feel like it's trying to pull back a curtain. Yeah, it's trying to expose naturism for what naturists truly believe that it is, and kind of shedding some light on some.
Did you just use the word "exposed" to describe
not
naked people?
Purpose.
Is that actually, that's where that was the word choice?
That was not on purpose, believe it or not. But they are trying to put some light on kind of dampening out kind of wrong myths or kind of inaccuracies about it, and just kind of more the underlying truths about why people do this and why people kind of partake in this. And I feel like how this film was effective, and I think a feather in its cap, and I put this down in the positives for the film in my notes here. This film did what I think a lot of naturism films set out to do. It was trying to separate sexuality from nudity. And obviously, I'm assuming that's kind of a goal of this film and a lot of films in this genre. And this film did it successfully.
Yeah, to clear up certain stigmas.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure. And I think I've got a list here of things that I think the film did really well.
Sure.
And one of those things is that this film displays bodies, like there's full frontal nudity in this. They don't hold back.
Right. There's not always like a coincidentally placed bush conveniently.
No. Yeah. The conveniently placed props.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing that, they show bodies of all shapes and sizes.
Right.
And I think that's a powerful decision to make, because my assumption would be, like, when we watched Garden of Eden, those were mostly like magazine type bodies.
That's true. Yeah, it was kind of like a selective few, and it was yeah.
Right. They're the bodies that stereotypically you want to look at naked versus what we would call real, actual people, like real bodies.
Yeah.
And so I think if the idea behind a film like this is to give a more honest view of the human body, then it executed it well from the standpoint of choosing the right representation.
Right.
So yeah, that's my take on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's an interesting point. We can get back to more general comments on this film. There's one specific thing, and I hope Stefan listens to the episode. Like, I know he's a busy guy. Wouldn't be offended if he didn't, but I do hope he listens to this episode.
Oh, I would be offended. Yeah, friendship terminated entirely.
But there was, and I guess it's not just for Stefan specifically, but anyone who's seen the Garden of Eden, Just specifically, I have this in my notes. I just don't want to forget to talk about this. Right in the beginning of the film, when they mentioned that the two main characters, the sisters, were going to have to meet with a lawyer to go over their father's legal information, I honestly was like, wouldn't it be funny if, just like in Garden of Eden, like this lawyer turned out to be a naturist? And it turned out it was. And for me, it probably wasn't intended to be, but it almost was like a little Easter egg that it was kind of like, I don't know. I just found it funny because there was such a big reveal in Garden of Eden when this whole lawyer all along, like 3/4 of the way through the movie, was like, hey, I'm a naturist too, and you should try it. And the main character was like, whoa. And I had fun.
My guess would be that that's completely unrelated, but
I think so.
I don't know.
I think so. I just had a bit of a chuckle over it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've got a couple other things that I think the film does really well. I do have a couple of criticisms.
Sure.
And so I don't know, like, what's the, do I want to end on a high note? Let's end on a high note. Let's talk about the things that took me out of it a little bit.
Sure.
One is you're going to have to help me on the characters' names. It was like 3 weeks ago when we watched this now.
I'm here for you.
The character's name, who is the yoga teacher,
Lauren,
who is Lauren.
Yep.
Lauren, at least in one shot, Lauren has some tan lines.
Okay.
And that just kind of that pulled me out of it a little bit.
Oh, really?
Because I was thinking to myself, like, if Lauren is in fact a naturist who lives at a naturist campground, or a park or a resort or
wherever,
not a colony, because colonies are for lepers, as the film points out hilariously. You don't remember that line? There's
no.
I haven't seen my dad in X many years, and he leaves me an effing nudist colony. And the guy's like, resort, colonies are for lepers. Yeah. But yeah, then the tan lines didn't entirely click for me.
Okay.
Although I wonder, I don't know what she does, what that character does for a living, right? Like if she takes off through the day, and is working construction all day, then maybe tan lines aren't so.
Yeah, I didn't notice it, and even if I did, I probably wouldn't have been pulled out by it because we don't know. Like maybe she teaches a Zumba class during the day or something, and she goes off the resort kind of thing. We don't know that.
So ultimately, that's a nitpicky one for me. The thing that I think I left the film feeling the most like I wasn't fulfilled by, was a dive into Charlie's backstory.
Okay.
I wanted to hear, and we hear a little bit. We hear her kind of like, we hear her sort of talk about her feelings of abandonment. But I would have loved a better explanation of what exactly went down with their father, Ned. How did that all play out? And I would have loved a really heartfelt, emotional scene where Charlie sort of tells it, someone's like, so, maybe it's one of the staff members at the resort that say, so you really didn't know Ned at all, did you? And she says, I was 3 years old and this happened and that happened, and he asked me to help him pack his bags, and then whatever, but some sort of like something that would allow us to really resonate with Charlie that much more, and really become emotionally invested in her.
Yep.
Because ultimately her, like Leah has also lost a father that raised her. And so she's got that feeling of loss. But but Charlie has got this, what I think is richer potential for an emotional story. This story of maybe some contention between her and Leah because there's this girl who was raised by her rightful father, by Charlie's rightful father, but isn't even Ned's daughter. And so maybe there's some resentment there and some feeling of abandonment from Ned, but then also sort of this strange discovery because, Leah didn't know that Ned owned a nature's park, so that's news for her. But
Right.
Charlie knew dick about her dad. Didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so is really, is really set up in a position to have this emotionally triggering kind of story. And this is some foreshadowing, but when we chatted with the director JP, he was talking about the fact that the next one is very much centered around Charlie, and is kind of Charlie's story. So I'm fingers crossed that maybe there's some unpacking of Charlie's story there. But that's my big criticism. My big criticism is I felt like it was a little... I think the characters are really wonderfully complex. They're very well-rounded, three-dimensional characters.
Yeah.
But I feel like they set the characters up really well and didn't fully follow through on some of the emotional hooking that needed to be done.
Fair enough. Yeah.
For me to really, for my heart to break and for me to really feel for Charlie,
Right.
I would have liked a little more like, oh God, that's really awful when I hear her story type of thing. So yeah, that's my only issue, because I fully concede that the other one is a nitpicky. She had tan lines.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's lots of naturists who have tan lines. It all just depends on what you do, right?
Right.
If your whole day is spent out in the sun, working out in the sun with a shirt on, then I'm sure you have tan lines.
Yeah.
I
had three probably things that I had an issue with as well. They vary from more kind of bigger picture to kind of nitpicky. The one is basically what you just said about Charlie as well, so I don't need to expand on that, but just maybe expanding a little bit more on her journey and maybe Leah's as well, I would have appreciated more. I guess I was just a little confused with, it felt like there was a bit of a love triangle between Lauren, Trevor, and then Charlie. And I just kind of got mixed vibes from that love triangle, because it just seemed like sometimes Lauren and Trevor were kind of jiving a little bit, but then kind of in scenes, then it would be kind of Charlie and Trevor. And I just kind of got mixed vibes, and I just didn't really, I was just a little confused by what was going on there. And the only other thing... Oh, go ahead.
I mean, Trevor kind of says to Leah, like, we've never actually been together. Lauren just kind of thinks that we're together or something. But then that was a little, now that I'm thinking about it, that's a little jarring, because then the thought is, well, but isn't Lauren grieving the loss of Ned? Like, what?
Yeah.
Lauren's just moved her ass on to Trevor.
Yeah. Like I would have...
Bang.
It would have been interesting to get some more ripples from her. Like, how is she feeling? Like, is she going home to her cabin that night and just crying, and she's just really just emotionally broken from him passing away? I was just, the love triangle that we kind of saw just kind of led some more questions for me that I maybe would have liked fleshed out. But I think the third and final thing, I was just a little... I didn't really understand Charlie's kind of character path for her deciding to keep the park. And maybe from the conversations we had, maybe we'll get some clarification on that as we go into the sequels after our interview. But just, I got Leah's perspective, and I
wanting
bought
to sell
that.
It.
But with Charlie's...
Leah's like, I want to sell it. It's a shit ton of money.
Yeah. But with Charlie, it seemed like, she just wanted to sell it from the get-go. And it really, even the lifestyle and the kind of the freedom that it brought never really was shown to us with Charlie on camera. The only thing that remotely made her kind of want to do this was a love interest in Trevor. Leah kind of drank the Kool-Aid, right? She kind of found a freedom and kind of found her niche in this park. With Charlie, I just wasn't as convinced with her natural progression towards that decision, and that was my only head scratching moment.
They find out by going through their dad's stuff. They find out that the dad intended the park to be their legacy.
Right.
Like that Ned really wanted them to keep it and sort of succeed this park. But it did seem like that was that they turned around real fast. And that it really didn't take a whole lot of convincing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like that just all of a sudden the mind was changed, and that did feel kind of jarring.
Mm-hmm.
But so I get what you're saying. I don't think I was as bothered by that, or I don't think that stood out to me.
Oh, fair enough.
But I can appreciate where you're coming from for sure.
Yeah. And again, when I talked about like the love triangle thing, like some of these are just kind of nitpicky. It's just what I honed in on.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's talk about what this film does really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie is hilarious. Like there were so many moments that had me in stitches. One being, colonies are for lepers. I've heard before. I think I've heard. Is it Stefan I've heard say it? I've heard someone say that like colonies are for ants. Like an ant, you have an ant colony, not a nudist colony. But I like the leper one. I think that's like, cause it's just, it's very, it's almost very unself-aware, right? It's borderline offensive, but it's not. And that's kind of my brand of humor. So I liked that. I like the Corey, the gay guy, and the vagina monologue, and stuff like that, and just the film does so many things that are quick little humorous, subtle nods, either to the audience or just little punchlines that are kind of peppered throughout. One that's sticking out to me, well, there's two that stick out to me. One is the montage of things that it's safe to do and things that it's not safe to do naked and clothed, right? They're talking about like, wow, we wear clothes for protection. And it's like, it's removing a wasp nest, cooking bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry?
No, yeah.
Yeah, something else, like operating a chainsaw.
Oh, yeah. Or,
and
table
then,
saw or
and
something.
then working on a car. And the working on the car is just the most unflattering shot of some guy bent over under a car from behind.
Mm.
And it's, I don't know, when that happened, I couldn't help but laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really funny. And the other is the intentionally bad, what I have to assume is intentionally bad park video that plays on the TV in the girls' cabin.
Oh, yeah.
With like the really questionable green screen and the acting just being very like that. It's a park staff member who that was who they had to make the video, so she made the video, and I feel like it's a very self-aware joke that is poking fun at the stereotype, which is low-budget park marketing.
Right.
And so what do you enjoy about this film?
Yeah, I think ultimately it's just kind of bigger picture things that I enjoyed about it, and I've touched on it before, like just the aspect of separating nudity from sexuality. You hit on it, just having moments where like I myself found it just kind of funny and kind of light. And yeah, just ultimately I feel like it was just a unique experience to watch this type of film that wasn't bad. Like it was just, it's a very specific niche, and it's a very specific story and kind of message that's being told. So it's very, you can't just walk into it just on a movie night just not expecting it. But it was very different from my only other experience with watching a naturist film, and it was
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, this isn't like a story thing, but it was something that I really just like got a hoot of at the end.
Okay.
And it's very like, it kind of seems like it's the what's the equivalent of like nitpicky, but in a positive way? Like
I don't know.
Complimentary.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because it's not like a big overarching story thing that I want to say, hey, they did this well. Like, it's a very minutia thing, but I just really thought it was cool. It was just the end credits, the graphics and the end credits. I just got
the clothes being drawn onto people.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen this movie, it's like each character or a cartoon of like each character in their birthday suits, and then like just like a flash of like all these animated clothing jumping on the character, and it was just like a fun. I don't know. It just seemed like a fun way to end the film.
I love creative credits. Yeah,
I think that's it, right? It wasn't just like here's the director, here's that, here's this. It was kind of like it was a more creative way than just throwing some names on a screen.
Yeah. I think the characters are very complex.
Yes.
I think they are they're complex, and they're interesting enough of characters that I'm intrigued about a sequel, that I want more. I want to see these characters go on more adventures. Mm-hmm. I want to see what happens. I want to go deeper into their backstories. I want to I just want more.
I think that's the interesting component for a sequel, right? Because with Act Naturally, you kind of just have to start somewhere and get kind of like a baseline for each individual character. And for the sequel, now like we kind of have that baseline, right? And now we can kind of progress forward and kind of peel back a couple more layers and just kind of build on where we've started with each character, right? So it'll be kind of a fun opportunity that we get to experience as a viewer coming up.
For sure. I'm definitely looking forward to a sequel. And in the interview with JP, which we've already recorded, he's talked about how they, while shooting the second one, just because it was convenient and they had to do it when they had to do it, they've shot a couple of scenes for the third one. And it's official. Like I'm lobbying. You know, there's like those petitions online and people are like, hey, sign my petition for this. And ultimately it doesn't mean anything because online petitions are 99.9% of the time a total waste of everybody's time.
There's a petition for everything. There's a petition
for everything.
Toothbrushing in the state of Maine.
But I'm serious. I'm gonna start. Well, I was like, oh yeah, man, I'll be Uber driver number 3 or Uber driver number 2 or something like that.
Right.
And I'm serious, man. I'm starting the online petition. I'm gonna, even if I have to like, it's not photo bomb. Is it like video bomb? Can we video film bomb? Even if I have to like film bomb the back of a scene, man. I'm starting. There was a documentary in the early 2000s called My Date with Drew, and it was all about this guy who had this crush on Drew Barrymore, and he wanted to go on a date with her. He was a documentary maker, and so he documents his journey, the process of like, you know, trying to get through to publicists and doing this and just even getting through to her and then trying to get her to say yes. And then, you know, the actual going on the date and you know, and it was entertaining. Mm-hmm. And I'm beginning that process, man. It's my date with JP and, you know, and the end goal is not to sit and go out for dinner with him, although I'd love to do that. That sounds wonderful. No, I got to be in the back of a scene of Act Naturally Part 3.
Nice. Yeah.
You know, I'm going to do it. I was chatting with my girlfriend about it. I'm like, you know, because they shoot it. We're up in Canada, and they shoot down in the States. And I was like, whatever. Like, we'll make a, what they say, like a bunch of it was shot in Arizona. I was like, shit, I've never, Grand Canyon, sure. I
Sign
was like,
me up.
we'll make a week of it. We'll drive down and we'll,
Right.
I said totally, hands down, man. Act Naturally 3. I don't have an IMDb page yet.
Yet.
Being the key word there.
Mm.
But no, that's my, yeah. Scale of 1 to 10, this bad boy for me. 0 to 10.
All right. So I've got two different scales, my own and Marshall's.
Okay.
So my own is kind of unique, just to give some context. Where it ranks on 10 gauges how much money I'd spend to see this film. The highest tier would be I'd go in theaters. Second highest, I'd buy it for my own copy. Third highest, I'd pay to rent it. And fourth highest, I would only watch it if it was in a cottage and there was no Wi-Fi and it was raining.
And super unique because you're literally the only damn person on the entire planet who uses that as a ranking system. And I love you for it.
Thank you. On my scale, it got a 4.2 out of 10, which means I would pay money to rent it, but I probably wouldn't buy it. And
you don't need it in your collection.
Yeah, I don't need it in my collection.
But you know what? I think what's interesting about that, though, is that, like, that's a very subjective scale. Because you can really appreciate a film, and it will still score low if it's not your type of film.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, if you're a horror film buff,
right,
and then you watch the Colin Firth Pride and Prejudice and go, shit, that was really good. But I only buy horror films.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you go, but I would pay to rent it. Like, I want to be able to watch it, but I don't know if I need to watch it at the snap of a finger.
Right. Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Okay.
Absolutely. On Marshall's scale, I gave it a 5 out of 10. So that just more means that it wasn't my favorite film, but it wasn't bad. And it was just right in the middle.
Which, again, all film is subjective.
All film is subjective. And I think, like I said at the beginning, I think if you're just picking a movie night and you didn't know what this was about, you might be surprised what it was. You can't just going into it and be like, okay, it's either Act Naturally, National Treasure, or Titanic. And you just have to realize, hey, like, this is what the film is about, and know that going into it.
I think this is, although I acknowledge that there's some flaws, just like any film.
Like any film. Yep.
This film, this movie makes me smile. I adore this movie.
Cool.
And so I gave this a 7.7.
Right on.
Which is, far above the middle, far above average.
Yep.
Not into 8 territory. This isn't like,
No.
I don't think Act Naturally was snubbed at the Oscars.
Right.
By any stretch of the imagination, but
right. Yep.
But it's I would certainly buy it.
For sure. Okay.
I think regardless of the subject matter, regardless of what the film is about and whether that appeals to me or not, it's just a good character story.
For sure.
And a happy ending.
Yes.
And I'm a sucker for happy endings.
Yeah.
That's not, I mean, anyways. Yeah. So this is strange now because normally we haven't talked about this. We're changing the end of our show.
Yes.
Are we going to tell each other? We used to recommend films to each other. We used to say, like, hey, what'd you watch this week?
Right.
And it'd be like, well, this is what I watched. And of the films I watched, you have to watch this one. And I think we decided, that we'll talk about what we watched, but just not recommend anything?
Only recommend on an as-needed basis. So, like, if it's something that, like, Brady, you have to watch this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so what the hell did you watch?
Oh, right. I watched a film called The Glass Castle. It's on Netflix, at least where we live geographically. It has Naomi Watts, Brie Larson, Woody Harrelson, a lot of actors who I cherish that I really enjoy. And the premise and the characters, I was drawn to it. The film wasn't exactly what I was expecting, so it didn't flop, but it definitely didn't resonate as much as I was hoping. So instead of being like a, wow, Brady, watch this film this week, it was more just like, it wasn't bad, but I personally won't watch it again. And it just was what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's it. That's all you watched.
I'm looking at my
We
list.
haven't talked in three. We haven't talked in 3 damn weeks.
I know.
That's all you watched.
Oh, I only watched another film, and it was not a good film. It was The Wedding Planner, Matthew McConaughey, girl who's dating A-Rod right now, J-Lo. Corny 2001 rom-com.
Okay.
Yeah, not worth mentioning.
All right.
That was it.
Okay.
What did you watch?
Here we go. I watched, and this is in no particular order.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of rewatching.
Cool.
I rewatched Hamilton.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's so damn good, man. And I honestly, since watching it the first time, I've indoctrinated myself with the soundtrack and the opening song, Alexander Hamilton, is a 5-minute song or something, the big introduction song. Right. I can rap the shit out of that song now.
Good for you.
Yeah. King George is still my favorite part by far.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But I love Hamilton. I'm one of those now.
Cool.
I rewatched last night, actually. This is all out of order. I watched another musical, which I adore, Sweeney Todd.
Again, we just watched that.
2 good friends of mine who hadn't seen it.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, boy.
You had to.
Oh, boy. So I sat them on down, and I think they are probably both going to become vegetarians now. But you know what?
They have to now.
Worth it all the same.
Sure.
I rewatched. What did I rewatch? So last time we talked, I talked about the fact that I had watched the live action Cinderella movie.
Yes.
Well, we ended up on a bit of a live action Disney kick.
Neat.
And so I watched the live action Aladdin.
Yeah.
And I really liked it, man.
Well, you did.
I was not admittedly I'm not as invested in the original as you are, right? I only watched I watched the first one as a part of this show a little over a year ago for the first time.
Yes.
So I wasn't invested in the original. I thought it was really good. I thought, I liked the actors who were playing everyone, with the exception of Jafar. I think Jafar needed to be older and a little more menacing.
Sure.
But I liked the portrayal of Aladdin. I liked the portrayal of Jasmine. I really liked the portrayal. Both my girlfriend and I agreed. This was a much better portrayal of the Sultan. He was well-rounded. Gave his character some depth instead of just being this doofy little guy.
Right.
And Will Smith was phenomenal. Will Smith stole every scene he was in. Yep. I loved the fact that he doesn't try to be Robin Williams.
Yes.
He does his own thing, but nods to, tips his hat a couple of times to Robin Williams' genius. Yep. And my favorite, the moment that really made me smile, which kind of surprised me, was there's a couple of the iconic songs which, because it's Will Smith, they allow him to add a little bit of his Will Smith hip hop rap kind of flavor to it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, and it just felt really right. It felt quite appropriate, and I enjoyed that. Next up,
the only thing, and I said this in person, I felt like Will Smith was kind of like Hitch in that film, and he gave dating advice. So any scene that he wasn't in there, I wasn't as interested.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
That was just me.
Maybe.
Also, can I just say, when you said both my girlfriend and I, for some reason, I don't know if I just have had too much caffeine in the last hour, for some reason, and I know this is not based on truth, for some reason I thought you were going to say both my girlfriends.
No. No, we all 3 of us never watch movies at the same time. Arguments break out. Can't be done.
Sorry.
We watched the live action Lion King.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, it's not live action. The first shot of the film is live action, and the rest is still computer generated. We watched the new Lion King remake.
Yep.
And it's really good, man.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's got some issues.
Sure.
The added Beyonce song is total bullshit and doesn't belong there. Feels really out of place.
Okay. Yeah.
There are times where the animals don't feel as expressive as they should feel. But ultimately it's pretty dang good.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty dang good.
Oh yeah.
I watched Horton Hears a Who.
Oh, cool.
Because, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
And I watched Wonder Park, which is another one that
You've made me watch.
I made you watch it. It was It was
Yeah.
the one that's kind of a tearjerker at the beginning. It's a super tearjerker at the end.
Right.
And the middle's kind of like, eh.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
And I'm sure I watched other films. I just can't think of any of them right now.
You almost needed like a Rolodex just to go through those. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Can I ask? I think the last time we spoke, you had watched 8/10 of The Terror. Did you finish
Yes.
The Terror?
I did.
What'd you think?
I didn't like the ending at all.
Okay.
Total garbage.
Yeah, that's fair.
I put the last 2 episodes in the same category as the first 3.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Dropped the ball.
Yep.
Did you watch the end?
Yes, I did. I don't know if it really dropped the ball, but I felt like I was wanting it to go in a different direction, and maybe instead of hitting a home run, they just kind of hit a ground ball to the third baseman, and it didn't really elevate as much as I had hoped.
Yeah, nobody's signing that baseball. That's not
right.
bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, thank you so much. If this is your first time listening, we have already traced your mailing address, and there is a box of double stuffed Oreos in the mail as we speak.
There's not.
There is.
Oh, but there's
No,
not.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's
there's
Oreo
not.
Thins, which is like
But I'll tell you what there is.
worse than no Oreos at all.
There is a few links below for you to check out and follow, subscribe our show across our various platforms. There is that.
Which is a total shit deal compared to a box of Oreos. However, considering Oreos aren't an option,
right.
the link's are the next best thing.
Yes. And also you can check out our Patreon page below if you feel like supporting the show. And just it helps us keep the lights on and grow and expand the show.
I know I do. I know I feel like supporting the show.
Nice. Thank you.
Let's join together and do that. We can make a difference as a group of individuals who just want to do the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Check it. Check all the stuff below, man. Just do it. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do it or it's fortune cookie time. Do it or something bad is in your future.
Yes.
You'll lose a fortune or something. I don't know.
Sure. Thank you
bye.
for listening.
No, just say goodbye. Don't. We've thanked them. They know.
Bye-bye.
They know we're thankful.
Bye.